Uh, the question, should the public be made aware of the student's illness when he or her has AIDS? Okay, that is the question put before the two teams. Ms. Reddy's team against Mrs. Muhammad's team. Who has the pro, who has the con? Is the deciding?
Ms. Muhammad's con.
Is against knowledge, public being aware that a student has AIDS in school. And Ms. Reddy's side is for the allowing that the public should be made aware that a student has AIDS. Okay, everybody understand the question inside? We flip a coin. Where's the coin? Right there, I don't have a coin.
I got
Okay. So I'll allow Ms. Reddy's team call it in the air. Heads. Ms. Tails. Your choice.
We'll start.
Okay, we'll start.
I don't think that it should be public knowledge if a student has AIDS because it could ruin what little life he or she has left.
I don't think it should be public knowledge if somebody's got AIDS because it would just put more pressure and stress on that person and they would just become more sick.
I don't believe it should be public knowledge because of the reactions of others.
I don't think it should be made public knowledge because it's the person who has AIDS. It's their own personal business. It's no one else's. No one else has the disease.
Okay, those are the opening statements. Now, Ms. Reddy's team, your opening statement.
It should be let out in the public because sometimes it helps the patient along when it's out in the open so that maybe people could help them get through it.
I think everyone should know so everyone can be more aware about it.
I think that the public should know because just in case for the safety of other kids, just in case, a cut happens, so that they'll be aware that they should be able to wear gloves.
Okay. Those are the opening statements. Now, this team has, since they started first, you have the option to question any of the people on that team. Do you have any questions?
No, if they start, they question.
You start, so you have the choice to question this team first.
I question Kendall. Shouldn't you protect yourself anyway and stay away from somebody that's cut, even if you don't know that they have AIDS?
Yeah, but just in case the little kids, like say kindergarten, they run around, they have bloody noses or whatever, they touch each other, they bite each other. They should be aware that, they shouldn't be biting other kids just in case that kid might have AIDS.
But they shouldn't do that anyway.
But they do.
They do, but they shouldn't.
Any other questions? Tracy, you have questions for any statements or anybody? Mr. Muhammad? No questions?
No.
Okay, now it's up to the audience, people. You have questions for either side about the situation. You all have your own points of view about AIDS and students with AIDS.
You said that it should be made aware because it would help the person along, but you don't know what the reactions of the other people might be. They might not be mature enough to handle it. They might make the person feel uncomfortable, and they might totally ignore them because they have AIDS and they don't know what to expect.
Well, in the Ryan White story, when he went to high school or junior high, everybody there knew about it, and they didn't treat him any different.
Yeah, but when everybody else first found out about it, their parents wouldn't let their kids go to school. They have two different situations there, when they did accept them and when they didn't.
Because they didn't learn about the disease. On the videotape, they showed that the other school, they had learned about the disease, they had seminars and everything else. The other school, they just found out about it. They didn't know anything about it.
So the teachers probably still told them about it.
They told them about it, but they didn't teach them how you get the disease and other things about the disease.
Questions from the audience? Your time to let your views known. Question what they said. Anyone awake? Considerations about AIDS among the students, whether we should be made known if students have the AIDS virus or not. No questions from our audience. We move to final statements.
I guess, if we can get it done, otherwise we're going to be voting on a day after the final statements.
Maybe we should hold off.
None of you in the audience have any, concerns one way or the other? If somebody in this room right now had AIDS, would you not care about it? Would you care about it? Would be okay? Would be not okay? Think about it.
Yeah, it's something to think about, because it affects everybody. You're all familiar with Magic Johnson, right? What happened when he went public? What happened to his career? Reaction from his friends playing basketball. And sooner or later, unfortunately, I think all of us are going to have a friend or someone you know that has the AIDS virus.
I wouldn't care because you can't catch AIDS orally, and if you can't like get it from them touching it, so I wouldn't really care.
So you're in favor of this team? Okay. Anybody else?
Something you'll have to think about. It's going to be part of your life. Unfortunately, you go as you get older.
I mean, that's what you have your opinions now, but do any of you actually have friends who have AIDS? You don't really know how you would react because you really don't know anybody who has AIDS, personally.
You don't know how you treat them after it happens.
Does anybody in the class have a friend or know somebody who has AIDS? Well, okay. How do you deal with it?
It's no different because, I mean, it's one of my relatives, and it's like he uses the sink to brush his teeth, eats off our plates, and it's not like we've ever caught anything from him. We hug him, we kiss him, whatever, but it's not like we've ever caught anything from him. So I don't see why we should have to treat him any differently.
So that would go along with your argument then to allow people to know that he has it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're actually living what you're debating?
Well, I'm not living with him.
Your
Experience.
Yeah, that's what I meant by living. Is there anybody else? All right, so I guess tomorrow we'll summarize, and if you can come up with any other questions, we can start with some questions tomorrow, and if there's no questions, we'll summarize it.
Have any questions tomorrow? It'd be a good time to think about it. I know it's Monday morning and your brains are not in gear.
They're still a little wet, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It's a little flooded. So let's try to think of some questions at least for tomorrow and make these people earn their votes.
We will be giving swimming lessons, however, after school today, in case any of you run into that situation again.
Home bases, we are back here again today for the second day of our debate. Now, yesterday we left off. We were going to give the audience some time to generate some questions to stimulate our debate before we make our closing arguments. Are there any statements or questions from the audience that they did not give yesterday? Sounds of silence.
Simon and Garfunkel, 1963.
Okay. Since there is no other statements from the audience,
May I have your attention, please? Just 2 additional announcements.
statements, okay, we will start. Who went first? You went first. So they make their closing statements first. Okay, make the closing statements.
Everyone should know about the patient who has AIDS because it can help them along with getting through that they have it.
Everyone should know so they can be more aware about it. So if he does bleed, they can't get it or anything.
Okay, so we have 2 students absent from the team. We go Do you have closing statements?
I don't think it should become public knowledge because even though some people are mature enough to handle it, others aren't, and even if it's a family member, you might think that you're taking it well, but really you're not.
I don't think it should become public knowledge because a person with AIDS can live a lot easier life with less stress.
I don't think it should become public knowledge because of the reaction.
I don't think it should become public knowledge because it's the person who has AIDS, it's their own privacy. It's no one else's. No one else has the disease. It's just them.
Okay, those are our closing statements. We are now going to vote. Let's make sure we understand which is which. This is the con. Okay, so if you agree with the team, with Mrs. Mohammed's team, you write con on the ballot. If you agreed with the views established by Ms. Reddy's home base, you would write pro. Pro. If you thought both teams did an equal job, you would write tie. Please vote on the performance of the students. Results are coming in. Okay, here we go. Con. 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 Pro. Tie.
Tie.
Con. Tie. Con. Pro. Tie. Pro. Tie. Tie. Con. 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 Pro. Con. Tie. Con. 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 Tie. Pro. Tie. So the cons have won.
Give him a nice hand.
Ready, team defeated by sickness.